watching X-Men Apocalypse today. I'm excited.
That's our friends out there. We can't just leave them behind.
Trinity.
Ghostbusters. Now they need to be taken seriously.
You take that out, I'll take the far one.
Something big is gonna happen.
The word we're looking for is apocalypse. You want a piece of this? Yeah!
The government's trying to claim
Now on to our double feature.
Let's go to war. Forget everything you think you know. You're not students anymore. You're X-Men.
Alright guys, so I just watched one of my most anticipated movies of the year, X-Men Apocalypse. Luckily, walking in theater, I heard somebody yell my name, and apparently it was one of my friends. So, yes, we watched the movie together, and what can I say? I will tell you guys about my experience after the review of this movie. So, I did see it on this Friday, and in the morning because I didn't have any school. I saw it in the Dolby Atmos AMC Prime. Just for seeing it in the AMC Prime, they gave me this free pen. It's a Magneto pen. Here, they only give it to people who saw it in the premium large format, also known as Dolby Atmos and AMC Prime. So I will be wearing this for my review right now. So let's get started. By the way, this review will be spoiler free, no spoilers at all. So here's my Magneto pen. Anyways, X-Men Apocalypse is about Apocalypse. You know, he gets ruled as basically a king back in Egypt, and he basically decides around 1983 to basically take over the world and destroy it, and you know, make something else out of it so he could rule the world. And he does that with his four horsemen of the apocalypse, which includes Magneto, Storm, Psylocke, and Angel. And you know, we have the X-Men over here, and you know, they're basically there to stop Apocalypse from doing all this destruction and making another whole world that he could rule out of it. So I will get to my experience for AMC Prime after what I think about the movie, after what I have to say. But anyways, for those of you guys who do not know, Apocalypse is the most powerful X-Men villain in the whole entire X-Men universe. And seeing Oscar Isaac basically play this role was just awesome. He did a great job. He really nailed it. He felt really threatening. He's one of those villains where you could see why you have these X-Men basically trying to stop him, and he really nailed the role really good. And you know, let's get to the new edition cast. You know, Olivia Munn as Psylocke. She really only had 6 lines of dialogue, and that wasn't much. I kind of wanted to see more of her, but we saw a lot of her, but we just saw 6 lines of her, and I found it very disappointing that we only got to see really Olivia Munn really say only 6 lines in this whole entire movie. And the actress who plays Storm, she really did a great job too with that accent that she has. She did a really good job. Also, the guy who plays Angel, he also did a really good job, even though he didn't really have that much lines. I think for what he did as this character, I think he did a really good job. Now on to the returning cast of this movie. We have Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Once again, he nails it. He does everything he needs to do as Magneto. And we also have James McAvoy as Professor Xavier. Again, he is just a perfect job for Professor Xavier, the young Professor X, and he just does a really good job. Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, she really sells her performance, and she really knows what to do when she's a part of these movies. You know, basically everybody, even I don't know his name, I think it's Ty, I don't know what his last name is, but he was in that Zombies movie last year, Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse. He plays Cyclops. And, you know, basically this was basically our first time seeing young Cyclops in the X-Men movies, and I think he really sold him. He really did a good job as him. Sophie Turner as, what's her name, Jean Grey, I think she did a really good job too. And, you know, almost every actor in this movie did really good, and they did what they were supposed to do in this movie. Now, as for the story in this movie, the story is very good, but actually seeing the movie itself, we just have a bunch of clusters into this movie. By clusters, I mean basically they want the movie to focus on Apocalypse, but at the same time they want it to focus on Mystique. At the same time they want it to focus at Cyclops. At the same time they also want this movie to focus a lot on Magneto. And with having all these characters focused onto this story, it really makes it hard to follow the original story with Apocalypse into it. And that's really my main and probably only problem with this movie, is that it just has all these stories that you're just trying to keep up with. You can't keep up with them, even with its runtime, 2 hours and 26 minutes. You really can't keep up with them that much, because you're trying to focus a lot on storyline, but you're also focusing a lot on these characters, and that really bothered me. The action scenes in this movie are really good. They're really well made, and the Quicksilver scene in this movie is much better than the scene in Days of Future Past. I really love the scene in Days of Future Past, but the way that they use Quicksilver in the scene is just fascinating. You guys need to check that scene out. And by check it out, just check out the movie, and you'll love that scene. My favorite part in the movie. As for the AMC Prime experience, you do have this wall-to-wall screen. It covered most screen, it just didn't cover the whole screen, but what really mattered was the sound system. And, you know, we have the speakers on top, on sides, and the Dolby Atmos worked really good in this movie. It really vibrated your seat. It felt like your seat was giving you a nice massage, you know, reclining at the same time. It was a really good experience. So I'm going to say that AMC Prime is definitely worth it. It's definitely worth the extra money. If you have an AMC Prime by you, don't miss out on X-Men Apocalypse in AMC Prime. Now, to end with, X-Men Apocalypse is not as awesome as X-Men Days of Future Past, but it's definitely great. One of my favorite X-Men movies, probably my top 3 favorite X-Men movies. And, you know, it was a really good movie. Just my only problem with it was, again, we have all these clusters added to the story, which makes it difficult to actually follow the story itself. But that was my only problem, and I'm only going to mark it 1 point down. With that being said, I'm going to give X-Men Apocalypse a 9 out of 10 or an A. I recently watched Deadpool, and I would also give it the same grade, but I do like this a little bit more than Deadpool now. But anyways, with that being said, this concludes my review of X-Men Apocalypse. Anyways, did you see it? What you think about it? How did you see it? 3D, AMC Prime? Just let me know what you think about it. Anyways, I'll see you guys for my next movie day.